Welcome to my channel. In this channel, I share some of the battlefields and military museums I have visited in the past. Hopefully you will find it useful for planning your trips, or if you have similar interests in such places. If you find this content useful, please like and subscribe, as I plan to do more of these videos. The Battle of Antietam was the single bloodiest day in the American Civil War. The battle was fought on September 17, 1862, at the outskirts of the town of Sharpsburg, Maryland. The battle in its entirety will be too much to cover in this video, and I won't be able to do justice to the subject matter, so I will refer you to Jeffrey the librarian, who has excellent videos covering the blow-by-blow account of the entire battle, including this battle. I have included the links to his videos in the description. The American Battlefield Trust also has excellent videos covering this battle on their YouTube channel, and I have included links to those videos in the description as well. The photo you see shows the Dunkard Church. That's the white-coloured house. The cornfield lay immediately northeast of the Dunkard Church, across the Hagerstown Pike. The distance between the northern edge of the cornfield and the Dunkard Church was only about 400 to 600 yards. On the 16th of September, the Confederates had already positioned themselves south of the cornfield. That's around where the road is now. They know the Yankees will come through the cornfield, as their scouts have alerted them that the Union troops have crossed the Antietam Creek and were farming up to the north of the cornfield. I am now walking to the cornfield to show you roughly how long it would take for the Union troops to come out of the cornfield, get stuck at the gate, and then attack the Confederate position. The attack was a dawn attack. It started very early, before sunrise. As you can see, the Confederates had the advantage of a prepared defense position. The Yankees had no cover, and once they came out of the cornfield, they would not have concealment as well. That was why they had to have the attack at dawn, hoping to catch the Confederates before they had their breakfast and when visibility was poorer. However, the Confederates were ready, and it was a bloodbath for the first troops that came out of the cornfield. Next, I want to show you the Union troops' perspective. I am walking through the cornfield towards the edge where there were Confederates firing at me. Notice the change in scenery if you were the first line of troops exiting the cornfield. Now imagine this before sunrise. The sheer amount of anticipation and shock at the end of the line when you received fire from the front would have been very disconcerting. Now imagine if you were a soldier a few rows behind. You would have heard the Confederate fire and seen your comrades in front of you fall due to being hit. But your orders are to advance. Will your courage hold? Next, I want to show you how long the cornfield is by walking the length of it. Now imagine the chaos after the first few rows of Union troops have fallen. Some would have retreated, but there were other units of Union troops following behind. So it was pretty much chaos, and officers had to keep their units moving forward in spite of the slaughter. The cornfield changed hands multiple times. At the end of the day, there were 8,000 casualties on both sides. General John Bell Hood of the Confederate Army described this battle as the most terrible clash of arms by mortal man. There were so many dead and wounded on the field that it was described as you could walk across the field without touching the ground. The battle at the cornfield alone accounted for more than a third of all Union casualties at Antietam. It was just a battle of attrition, and the winner would be the one that was able to sacrifice more troops. As you can imagine, with all the cannon and musket fire, food production was severely impacted during the war. In the north, while battles like Antietam and later Gettysburg disrupted food production, it was not as severe due to mechanization and immigrant labor. However, the south was severely impacted. The Shenandoah Valley, known as the breadbasket of the Confederacy, was devastated by repeated Union campaigns like Sheridan's Scorched Earth campaign. During the 1862 and 1863 campaigns, Robert E. Lee crossed the Mason-Dixon line into Union territory, and one of the reasons was to feed his army of northern Virginia, as he would be able to live off the land. In other words, they would raid Union towns and farms for food. Being Southern gentlemen, they would pay using Confederate dollars, which were worthless to the people in those towns and farms. This ends this video. I hope you have found it useful and informative. If so, please like and subscribe. Also, if this video has sparked your interest in this battle, I highly encourage you to visit the site. I have some links in the description if you do decide to visit. Thank you for watching.